So, song of the day. Yesterday, you guys know I went offline for the day. I did not do a show, and it's because I had to attend a funeral, and pretty sad. I think I mentioned this on the stream before. I tweeted something about this. I don't want to go into a ton of detail, but this was in the news. So this did make the news locally here in the Los Angeles area. I don't know if it was national. I don't think it was. But a friend of mine was killed in a drunk driving accident. And it was a little uglier than that. Now, I didn't know this person very well. I had only gotten to know her for about a year, and she was one of my fiance's ex-coworkers, and they were pretty close. They were all pretty close, and, I kind of got to know them through my fiance, and she was always very friendly, really nice. Just a really genuine person. Like, you just liked being around her. And I met her boyfriend. I only met him once. He seemed like a really nice guy. And we got news that they were involved in a drunk driving accident and she was dead. And we didn't know many details at first. We were like, was he driving? What happened? Were they both like intoxicated? Like, what went on? We come to find out that wasn't what went down. What did go down was he ran her over. So chances are what happened was she was probably trying to stop him from driving. We'll never know exactly what happened, unfortunately, but what one would speculate is that she likely was trying to stop him from driving, and he ran her over. And then you come to find out he was not the greatest guy in the world. We come to find out that, and this was all via the news, that this guy had some other DUIs on his record. Which, that's one thing you kind of think, gee, maybe this guy needs help he never got. Then you come to find out this guy had lost a job at a high school because he was messing around with underage students. So you kind of think, wow, it certainly seems like this was not a very good guy, right? I mean, that's a pretty logical conclusion. And nobody had any idea. No one had any idea. And her funeral was yesterday. So needless to say, it was a very heavy experience. And it was very... Man, I don't... It's hard to put it into words because, I've never been to a funeral for someone who was murdered before. That's... it's not an experience I recommend. I feel like, that's an experience I feel like, if you can avoid that, you should. It's not a pleasant one. And, the whole time you're just kind of thinking, why the fuck did this happen? Why, why, like this? You felt like you were in a bad dream where you were gonna wake up. Like, it felt like this was all just a bad dream, and you were just gonna wake up. But it wasn't. It was real. It was happening. And then, there's that sort of bittersweet element about life and death where everybody comes together, everybody is there for one another. And, there's something heartwarming about that. However, you also recognize that this has happened in horrible circumstances. And in particular, horrible circumstances here. This was a very, very tragic thing that happened. And something that... God, why did it have to happen? So, my song of the day, and I appreciate you guys hearing me out talking about it, but my song of the day was, as we were driving out of the cemetery, my fiance and I were driving out of the cemetery, and, just to kind of break the ice a little bit and just to kind of like get her talking, because she was really shaken up, and reasonably so. And, especially when she saw her, it was tough because she didn't look like her in the casket. She didn't really look like herself. And it's probably because they had to do a lot of reconstruction work since she was run over. And, I used to be a mortician's assistant. So, I know a little bit about how that stuff works. I don't remember a lot of it at this point, but so that was pretty heavy. And so to break the ice, as we're driving out of the cemetery, I said, hey, what are some solid eulogy songs? And, we started talking eulogy songs, Hallelujah, Leonard Cohen, Death or Glory, The Clash. And what else did we name? We named quite a few. I brought up First of the Gang to Die by Morrissey. We just started naming songs. Like, we started thinking of songs that kind of just reminded us of the celebration of life and a passing on. And then we put on Sirius XM, and we put on Sirius XM. And as we're driving out of the cemetery, the song that was playing was Hey Ladies by the Beastie Boys. And we're thinking, well, this is definitely not a eulogy song. And then my fiance switched the station, and the song that happened to be on, which is a classic, and I hope you don't mind, but given the circumstances, the song of the day today is going to be a classic. It was Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. And that was kind of a particularly appropriate song for the moment we were having, and kind of just thinking about what we just witnessed, thinking about her family and her friends, and how something just so tragic happened. And then you wonder, why the fuck did that happen? Why does that have to happen? And it was Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd that was playing. So I recommend, the song of the day today is Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. And that's a classic. We've all heard it. There's a good chance that some stone dude with a guitar ruined that song for you in college. That's what happened for me. If I got a dime for every time I went to a party and there was some stone dude, and it was always a dude, in the corner strumming Wish You Were Here on guitar, I'd be a wealthy man. And yeah, no. It ruined that song for me. I remember in high school there was this kid, and he also, and so not only did that happen in college, but in high school there was this kid, and he always got on my nerves. If I still knew him today, he probably still would. But he would sit in the dressing room and just strum Wish You Were Here on the guitar. I was in the musicals with him. He would just play, he never played anything else. Like, one time I asked him, I was like, hey man, can you play something else? And he just kind of laughed like he thought I was making a joke. I'm like, no, I'm serious. Do you know anything else? Do you, like, anyway. But it's still a beautiful song. Don't let a random person with an acoustic guitar take it from you. Wish You Were Here. Pink Floyd. Yeah. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and